Thank you, Klaus. I was going to say we are at a really historic moment in our industry. I think we've been, as Klaus was saying, we've been talking about automation for a long time. Now we're talking about zero-touch automation. So it's really interesting point in our professional careers, as you know, and as we all work to achieve the zero-touch automation in our industry. So I'd just like to lay out the ground, sort of introduce from Analysys Mason's perspective what we are seeing in the market, why we see zero-touch automation as a key requirement to the success of our industry as we move towards new technology evolutions and so on. And then, as Klaus was saying, we'll open it up to other presenters. Klaus will be back on here, Sarge, and then we'll have a panel discussion at the end. Let's crack on. So just, three key takeaways presented here in the form of our introduction. So the telecommunication industry is at an important tipping point. And why I say that is because we are embarking, as an industry, on some of the most crucial transformations in its history. We've got the NFV-STN. We've been talking about it 5-6 years. We were just chatting just now. Cloud is hovering around over our head for a long time, and we want to embrace more of the cloud principles and cloud technologies in our industry. And the new buzzwords of 5G and IoT has now become mainstream in our vocabulary. And all of these new technologies, promise superior operational efficiency, business agility, new revenue, and all good stuff, right? And this is why we deploy new technology, so that we can achieve all these benefits. But how do we achieve these benefits is really the crux of this conference. Operators need a radically different approach to network and service management and operations to achieve these benefits. The prevalent model has reached the end of life and is not fit for purpose for the new world order. Of course, we have a lot of networks, we have businesses running today generating a lot of revenue. And the existing operations will have to continue to exist. But in this new world order, in the new vision that we are painting, the picture we're painting, the current mode of operations, the way of doing things today is not going to be fit for purpose. And this is where, in this context, the zero-touch automation must underpin the new age of network and service operations. And some of it is common sense, right? It's the most efficient way to run a business. If any business could automate stuff, they would. Except that in the telecommunications industry, we deal with a lot of complexities. It's not, it's easier said than done. But we all accept that this is the most efficient way to run a business. But also because as we are seeing these new technology evolutions, the softwareization of the network, as we say, provides us a once-in-a-generation opportunity to embrace the zero-touch automation principles. So let me go a little bit deeper on some of these points. So where are we in this evolution, right? So we've got the existing IT and CT infrastructure, and we are embracing new principles of network function virtualization, software-defined networking, cloud principles, and so on to achieve what we're calling as the future ICT digital infrastructure. From the services perspective, a lot of operators tell us that they want to move away from the traditional communication services business to new digital services, and all of the new digital services is going to be enabled by these new, if you like, new evolutions, right? The IoT, 5G. We're going to have a speaker specifically talking on 5G today, and video. But it presents a lot of challenges. So the new service demands and expectations of these new objectives are among these different dimensions here. So we're looking at low latency services, high reliability, superior customer experience, and scale unprecedented. And all of these new evolutions are going to introduce unprecedented network and operational complexity. Not only because these technologies are themselves complex, but also because they have to coexist with a lot of our existing legacy stuff. So, and this is where a lot of operators have already told us in the last 2 to 3 years, I'll come to some of the quotes. The current operational model and economics are unsustainable to realize these demands. So let's take a look at some of the challenges, looking at it from the next level down, from an operations perspective. So here are some of the hurdles, the biggest hurdles that we face today. So if you look at the way the systems and tools initially and then evolved into systems eventually, the way they've been built, they've all sort of mimicked how the networks were built, right? So in domains, in silos. So that has resulted in massive duplication of data, high total cost of ownership, OpEx increasing year on year. As you deploy new network domains, new services, and so on, the OpEx is not going down or even flat, it's going up. As a result of that, we've got fractured processes. Well, you could automate, right? But the cost of that, the integration tax, as we call it, is significantly high. So you rather run with what you have rather than spend millions of dollars trying to automate, knowing that it might require further change in 6 months' time. And it tends to be highly manual and reactive, right? So a lot of operators, even today, rely on NMSs, EMSs, command line interfaces to troubleshoot issues. What about the workforce? So they are handed a set of tools and software systems, and they tend to be typically just the users of tools. They don't have either an incentive or high level of skills and expertise to continue to evolve those tools, just that they tend to be commercial tools, systems, unless they are software that are developed in-house where they have more control. But as the industry has moved towards more of a commercial software model, there are tools and systems they use. And this tends to be a lack of motivation and incentives. And the org structure are more tiered, bureaucratic, and I already touched upon the manual processes, and there are, because of these silos, there tend to be handoffs between these silos to achieve some of the operational goals. And as I was saying, it has worked for a long time, nothing wrong with it, except that they were all built for a certain type of network technology, and predominantly physical in nature. And now that we are evolving towards a more software-oriented, as I was saying, softwareization of the network, it is a great opportunity to rethink the whole operational aspects of running the new age telco, or a digital service provider, as the industry calls it. So I just want to present a couple of quotes from our research a couple of years ago, and this is 2 or 3 years ago, and this is a lot of operators were already thinking about this. And just focus on the text in red. We spend significant amounts of money on OSS today. With NFV SDN making its way into the network and 5G and IoT close on the heels, this spend pattern is not sustainable. Everything that can be automated should be automated. So this is the vision. Excellent vision. Another operator told us, we are aggressively embracing analytics. Service management is a primary goal. And we intend to use analytics to preempt service degradation and trigger remediation workflows. Again, excellent vision. But the challenge is the execution of this, isn't it? And that's why this conference is so crucial for the industry, I think. So there are many ways to look at zero-touch automation, right? And other presenters and the panel are going to present their views on what they think is zero-touch automation. So this is just one perception, and Of course, this doesn't deal with all the problems that the operators face today or how the zero-touch automation should work. But this is just one example of how we could think about zero-touch automation. So if you look at on the left, so this is how typically the networks are built and services are sold and assured, right? So we've got at the bottom, we plan, design, build, and operate the network infrastructure. And then on top of that, we conceive new services and we let customers order them, fulfill them, activate, and assure on an ongoing basis. And you see there are silos here. Well, of course, one could argue that each of these silos has a lot of automation inbuilt, but in terms of an end-to-end perspective, there is still limited automation. So on the right side, if you look at how we are painting this automated future mode of operations, at the bottom, we've got the infrastructure and the networking estate, if you like, the NFV, enabled by NFV SDN, and the management and control. And we should be able to allow customers to order the services they want, and then automatically manage those orders and provision the service, activate and test service, assure and manage service, modify or tear down the service, and then we go round and round. So it's a closed loop, so to speak. And the infrastructure that enables all of this should enable this automated closed loop sort of a principle. Analytics is absolutely essential to make this happen. And I'm just trying to paint a picture here. So we are on the left here. So high OPEX, a lot of the processes are mostly manual and tend to be reactive. And as you go to the right of the screen with increasing use of analytics and automation, we want to become more proactive in terms of the network and service management operations with more and more automation, partial automation to start with, and then ultimately we want to get to a zero-touch automation, or in the operations parlance, we'd like to call it the cognitive operations or autonomous operations. And as you see, and this is why, again, I want to reiterate the importance of this conference, is most CSPs are only now making the journey from reactive to proactive and applying more and more automation. And as we all know, a lot of operators have set out the vision to achieve more automation. And some of the operators are here at the conference, of course. So this is the vision and how analytics, especially the machine learning and AI technologies, can enable the zero-touch automation objectives. Welcome to the zero-touch era. Thank you. And I'd like to welcome back Klaus on the stage, and I'll come back and do the MC part of the workshop.
Thank you.